Russ Seltman with Cincinnati Bearcats on SI here with Cincinnati safety Josh Minkins. Josh, second interception of the season on Saturday. It seems like you're seeing the field really well. Is that kind of how it's feeling a third of the way through the year?
Yeah, with good film study, and just being prepared, it's kind of easy to go out there and just, make plays on the ball. And I try to just every week just go out there with the same mindset, if the ball comes away, to just get the ball back to the offense, and that's pretty much what I go about every week.
When you're in film study, are there moments where you're like, all right, this is maybe a look, this is a play where I could get my hands on the ball and make something happen?
Yeah, we always, with Coach Vite, like even with ourselves, we just always just watch different tendencies, different formations, what the offense might do. So with that, I might see a formation like, okay, this might be what they're doing. Sometimes tendencies aren't always 100% right. Like they say, you can't always just go off a tendency. You always just got to go what the play is. But for me, when I go out there and I see something, it's like, okay, he might run this, he might run that. And if I see him running, then it's easier for me to just make a jump on the ball and just make a play on the ball.
Do you feel like you're playing the best ball of your college career right now?
I would say, yeah. I mean, honestly, being an experienced vet and just being out there and just the game being much slower, I would say, yeah, like just – getting interceptions like 2 in the first couple games, and I only got to play 2.5 games. I would say, yeah, that's good for me. But it's more work to be done. Like I said, I'm on a mission. It's like for me, I just want to just do as much as I can to help the team win, and whatever comes with that after that just comes with it.
There you go. So when you see that ball in the air, your ball skills, how does a safety how much time do you put into making sure when that ball is hitting your hands, you're going to be able to turn it over and make a play?
I would say, every day, like I'm on the jugs, we're on the jugs, and we just sit there and just practice, just in practice, just making sure I'm focusing on the ball coming my way. I try to practice without gloves on, so in the game when I put on gloves, the ball kind of, it comes to me easier. But I would just say, yeah, just every day, just getting on the jugs, just concentrate on when the ball comes to you to secure the ball.
Texas Tech, high-powered offense, which has struggled a little bit against power conference teams. Obviously, you guys aren't taking them lightly. What has been kind of the biggest emphasis this week, especially knowing that it's probably going to be a situation defensively where you're going to have to mix some guys in and out with how much tempo they run?
Yeah, I mean, for us, just, keeping the offense in front of us. It's a game of just really, if we don't let them to get behind us, then they really can't score. So it's like not giving up the big play. And like last week I said, I gave up one play that shouldn't have happened. And that's where the big plays like that, if you keep the big plays from happening, then you'll have much success. But for them, it's very fast offense, and they kind of just – it's a lot of eye trickery that gets you, so you got to have good eyes in the game. So for us, it's just having good eyes and just keeping them in front of us.
Do you kind of feel like it's obviously on the back-end responsibility of those big plays? Last week, you guys gave up one play of passing-wise of 15-plus yards, which you mentioned you've taken responsibility in multiple media sessions for now. But just what was different last week compared to a few weeks before? Was it just maybe the offense not as high-powered for Houston compared to your first 2 opponents, or what was different in how you guys were able to stop?
Well, I wouldn't even say that. I would just say more of just everybody just being on the same page and everybody doing their job and just having different guys out there, because we did have a few injuries, and we, when you have different injuries, you have different guys to step in. So some guys may not have played the snap, and some guys just may not be familiar with the other guys. So it's just for us just getting everybody to be familiar with the defense and understanding our assignment, and just having good eyes, like I said, and then just doing our job. If we do our job, then, like I said, the offense, they can't score. So without scoring, it's puts you you might not win you might win the game, but it gives you a good chance to win. So for that, just like I said, just doing that.
How many shutouts have you been a part of in your high school? Well, probably more in high school, but college career as well.
I would say college. I would say 4 or 5. I would say maybe. I know I had one last year, and then we had, I don't know if we had one the year before that, but maybe one, but probably about 4 or 5 maybe, yeah.
Is it better for you, maybe you individually, knowing that you had a mistake last week, even though it wasn't a shutout, even though you did play well, you had an interception, because you kind of just can't lean on your laurels? I'm sure a lot of athletes I talk to, and a lot of guys are, it's kind of human nature to where you're focusing more on the negative sometimes than the positives. Does that kind of give you the ability to flush a good performance or a bad performance and move on?
I mean, yeah, it's just for me, it's as long as we win, I'm really happy, and then sometimes you might not play your best game and you might have a good game, but at playing DB, it's always going to be things that happen. You might make a mistake. You could have a great game, and then it'd be that one play that just, it happens where, you might lose the game, and it's for DB, it's hard that time to really take that, that job, because it really can be one play that dictates the whole game. But for me, I try not to think too much about, the positive or the negative. I just try to just play the game. And, I'm just, if we win the game, I'm happy. It's really all that really matters to me is about winning.
Is film study different after a 34-0 shutout compared to maybe week 1 against Towson or week 2 against Pittsburgh? How does it differ in terms of stuff you guys are trying to correct?
I mean, like I said, it's always stuff you can work on. There's always stuff you can perfect. For us, we try to play a perfect game, but there's no such thing as a perfect game. But if you get as close to perfect as possible, then you have a good chance, like I said, to win it. But I mean, like for us, it's always something you can correct. And like I said, like it's never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. It's always, something that you can work on and improve. So for us, just go out there and just improving no matter what. Because like I said, there was still moments where they still were close to scoring and they might not score. There might have been a turnover that stopped them from scoring, but we just got to limit the big plays. That's what we really take pride on.
Two-part question here. How much easier is it to track a ball, to play coverage at night versus during the day with a night game coming up? And how much do you enjoy night games as a player?
I mean, I would say it's probably 50-50 because you might have the sun and then you might have the lights.
Is there some situations where it can be harder?
Yeah, it could be harder. It depends on kind of the situation and where the sun's beaming. Like right now, it would probably be harder to catch the ball this way.
Yeah, like facing a fade ball in the end zone.
Facing a fade ball, but for nighttime, I would say too, the lights might be a little bright. But I would say, just like I said, I wear a visor, so the visor they gave me, it kind of makes the ball kind of like stick out, so it's easier to see the ball. But I love night games, and it was kind of weird because we play, I think, 4 straight evening games. I think we played the first week was 2:30, and the last 3 been 12 o'clock. So for me, like just being out there at night, I've never been to Lubbock, so it's like it's gonna be a good, interesting thing. I've been to Texas, I got family in Dallas, but I've never been to Lubbock. So for going out there and having a night game in that environment would definitely be a fun environment to be around.
Be great. Josh Minkins, UC Safety, everybody.